Hey guys. So, um, on this live chat, pretty much we're just gonna talk a little bit about um, different businesses that essentially you could start for less than $10,000. And the reason why I would like to do something like this is because I definitely think that a business mentality um, in any aspect of your life it's very game changing. The reason why is because you learn how to be a self starter. You really learn how to be independent, and you learn to function without a boss. And in some ways, you learn how to discipline yourself. And so I put together a nice list of 10 different businesses that you could start under for less than 10K. And I'm going to do a video as well talking about how you could raise um, close to 15,000 in cash. You probably don't have to pay it back. Um, so I'm going to start in a few minutes. This is not really a MGTOW video, but goes in line with the black pill philosophy, and how we black men should really look out for each other more. So number 10 would be a fitness business, and the reason why is because Americans are getting fat, and a lot of guys, especially black men, we work out religiously, so it's only a matter of time before we know we could translate that into a living wage. Me myself, I have a personal trainer. I pay him $25 an hour. Some trainers are $6 an hour, but he makes it reasonable for me. 2 sessions a week, 140 a month, which is way more than my current gym membership. But shit is awesome. I'm getting ripped. I feel amazing. I can see the results. My posture has improved. My body fat has dropped. I'm more disciplined in the gym. So, being in shape could keep a lot of medications out of the cabinet, and that could, essentially keep you healthy. So that 140 that I'm not paying and like healthcare costs is going to a personal trainer. So it's either you pay more for a personal trainer or pay more for being obese from those constant medications. So that's one of the keys. The key to being a successful fitness trainer, I think it's an Instagram account, but I also think it's having a website where people could really, book your services, see videos of you in action, and really get to understand who your clients are. Definitely have reviews, have your rates, really publish them, and have an easy system for them to book you consistently. Number 9 would be a delivery business. Now, there's a lot of delivery apps out there, but only the younger generation is really embracing the technology like that, right? But there's older people that, they still have to do a lot of traditional stuff by walking and getting around. So, if the local hardware store delivers or the local grocery store delivers, but it's not an app or it's a subscription rate, then if you could figure out a way to manually get into these individual homes, it's a great way to have a nice hyper local business and use a subscription model, so you could at least have predictive revenue to know when your downtimes are and when your uptimes are. Number 8, a barbershop. No, it's not starting a barbershop, it's just upgrading the barbershop. And so, me with a little design background, I actually thought about creating like a barbershop architecture firm where we go around and we pitch barbershop owners how to redesign their barbershop to make them more modern and make them kind of like the elite places where black men kind of sit, eat, drink, have conversation, watch the game, those type of because black men make money, so it's not like we're out here like super losers. They're always in the barbershop getting their haircut. So what's the best place to market to men than in a place where guys usually go? So it could be barbershops, selling hair care products, selling scissors, selling lotions, selling, bum stoppers, So designing barbershop of the future, with like a unique, a boutique experience. One where even the revenue is controlled by, a booking person. Um, revenue is by the barber shop, and each individual barber does collect their own cash, but it's collected by a central management system first, and then barbershop could pay for their chair on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. So it's great if you want to franchise a group of barbershops. So the idea is to get barbershops to look more modern, right? Like really make them look modern. The lighting, the flooring, the chairs, the mirrors, and of course the service. The key to this is really hiring an architect or interior designer. A lot of old school guys never, they never been to college. They just acquired the skill. They went to school for it, but they have no clue that if they design a great experience, that experience will translate into more business. So that's key, obviously, to reinventing the barbershop experience. Number seven would be inventions. Um, this one is tough because it's rare that someone hasn't already created your idea, but you can prove on an existing idea. Inventions that are game changing take time if you're looking for overnight success. So if you have a great idea for a product, you will need an industrial designer or a mechanical engineer. Um, these guys they charge 75 to $100 an hour. So get ready to pay an upfront fee to acquire their service to at least do the concept for your product. And then from there, it's easy. You could do a 3D prototype, do a crowdfunding campaign, raise some money, and get on Shark Tank. Um, yeah, so that's one avenue you could go. So number six, food business. So restaurants are everywhere, right? They employ a lot of young and old people locally, but they cost a lot to start and they fail really fast. The older generation have better success with restaurant because they usually mortgage their house, open a restaurant to start 150K and up, depending on the size and where you're putting it. So these days, everyone eats out at least twice a week. So it's a great industry to take on because people get bored of the same cuisine constantly, right? So um, you definitely, if you're an older gentleman and you want to do something like this, definitely go for it if you have the capital. But this is about businesses that you could start for under 10K, and I would say a small ice cream shop, which is seasonal, or a small coffee shop, where the rent is cheap. You're just focusing on coffee. You're just focusing on pastries. Those type of small products. Sell through is real fast, and you could really make a profit with low overhead. Stay away from food trucks because I feel like you know like if you have an existing restaurant, then a food truck is amazing. But the maintenance costs and the fact that it's not a year-round business unless you're in a warmer climate. We're in the Northeast, so 3 months, 4 months might be good seasons, and then the other 6 or 8 months, you're seeing bottom line revenue. So talking about paying employee, maintain food costs. So if you have an existing place and you want to expand it, then a food truck would be awesome. But if it's a startup, you can't have a startup and run it part time. It has to be full time if you want it to be successful. Number 5 is travel. Right, everyone is traveling these days. Millennials are constantly on Instagram and Facebook, um, showing off their selfies and their pics, and they're maxing out their credit card. So if you know a destination real good, just create a service that takes everyone to that location in the peak season. Definitely get a travel certificate, so you can make a cut from the entire travel experience, from the airline to cars. It could be 10%. Create a website for your locations and definitely get reviews from TripAdvisor. You could check out a friend of mine, travel company. It's called JudeFly.com. He just launched, so you're able to book a flight or take a tour in any part of the world. Number 4, automotive industry, right? Mechanics, dealership, repair, technology. In New York alone, right, 70% of the New Yorkers with cars don't even know how to change a tire. So any service in the industry will kind of do well. Really, they'll just do well because a mechanic gets 65 to 70 five an hour plus labor charge. I mean, cost of the parts, which some mechanics, they get a cut of that as well. So Uber obviously is awesome. It's great to be an independent contractor, but you know, um, that could slow down. But the cars that the Uber driver drives, those still need to be maintained. So definitely, the mechanics industry is a solid industry to be in. It's always been seeing have consistent growth. Number 3, startup. Startup usually reference to a technology company that's fast growing. If you don't know, Uber, Tidal, Jay-Z company, Jude Fly, my friend company, Havenly, which is also a friend of mine company, just raised $5 million. This area is full of innovation and tons of carbon copy. So you have to think hard and research heavy the problem you're trying to solve. Create a leading business plan, which is don't create a 50-page business plan. Just create a 5 to 10-page plan on your company. Put your plan in action. Definitely get incorporated in Delaware. For if you're taking on outside investors, is the best place. And always get an LLC. They're friendly for outside investors, especially if they want to fire you from your own company later on if you're being stubborn. Um, Now, with startups, everyone think you need a lot of money. Um, you really don't. I've worked on a few startups. I've literally got them to look legit with less than 5K. But after you've spend a lot of times on building it, you have to market it and develop it into a realistic product that individuals want, and that's where the challenge is. So it takes time and energy, just like any business. So you don't need to be a coder. You could hire local developers, or you could hire overseas developers to get this done. I do have a design company. Um, if you're interested, just inbox me and I'll send you the website so you could check it out. A great place to raise capital is also angel.co. That's where you set up your company profile, and then you could apply to investors that are on the platform ready to invest in your company. But you have to show some traction. So make sure you put in the time and effort to get customers and prove that you need this money to grow. Number two would be record labels. The reason why music is important is because is in all aspect of everyone's lives: the young, the old, the new, the born, the unborn. And so this industry is definitely, it's run by black men. I know there's this rumor that Jews run it, but they run it on the top. And so without the talent at the bottom, it's almost impossible for them to survive, right? That's why years ago they were crying about the industry's not making any money. No, they just wanted to consolidate all the independent labels, and so they only have the top artists. So ticket prices go up, venue prices go up. Pretty much it's just straight communism on the top. So now is a great time. There's tons of all the old school rappers. They're signed to labels. They're making money from concert. But the new talent, there's tons of new talent out there, and instead of constantly depend on the current talent that the elites want us to listen to, we could always focus on developing new talent. So let's go out there and search the block. There's always a kid that knows have a mindset for the skill, how to develop himself, and he definitely sign him. Go ahead, sign his ass. Make sure you give him a legit contract with stipulations in it. Make sure that you could recoup some of your investment. If not, make sure that you could get him onto a next label and be his road manager, or his publicist. Anything in that area. Because our artists are, they're machines. They're a business. So, and business need other support services. So once you could attach yourself to an artist that's rich and famous, you can make a lot of money consistently just working with that artist. I've been part of a label before, 30 million in sales. So I understand what it takes to run a label. One of the things I realized that CEOs don't party with the artists. They spend 16 hours a day in the business, managing operations. So that's the thing about what everyone used to think what record label exec does, like being in the videos. No, real record label executives are always out there either looking for the best talent, and making sure that their label is being run smoothly and all your artists are happy. Their shit is getting released on time, The four things that makes record labels succeed is really marketing, sales, legal, and public relations. Those are two things that work. Accounting as well, but a lot is just really legal. Like a lot of artists collaborate a lot, so they have to know what's their worth if they're collaborating, if they're writing for someone, and so all that is publishing. So you have to know what you as an artist, or if you're running a label, what are your sales like? Like how do you measure ROI? How are you legally binding yourself to recoup money from investing in these artists? What kind of image you're crafting for your artists. And of course, public relations, marketing is the same, but they complement each other, but they're both separate in a way. Like PR is how your artist gets on the red carpet. Marketing is how you market the artist to generate sales. Stay away from the naysayers. And the reason why I say that is because nothing in the music industry really happens on a grand scale without a legal department. So to run a successful label, you have to hire outside parties to train your artists on all level of discipline, And keep in mind, it's rare that record labels run operation from revenues coming from music sales. So you need stream of revenue so you could create to fund your artist operations. Once your artists reach a certain level, right? It's time to sign a joint venture deal with larger labels. These larger labels will give you a larger budget. So you could get on larger tours, bigger collaboration that costs a lot of money up front, and marketing resources that only LA Reid could sign off on. And number one, fashion, right? Um, a lot of